Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. If it's your first time here, welcome to the family. Welcome also to all my new subscribers. Guys, we have 50 subscribers, 50 members of the family. My name is Vinci. If it's your first time here, welcome. On this channel, I like to talk about different trending topics, whatever I find interesting. I also want to do video essays in the future. Well, this video is going to be some sort of a video essay. So, the weather is getting really warm. In my last video, I had a sweater weather. Did I have a sweater? Let me check. I did, right? But today it's completely went the opposite direction. It's so warm. I feel like I prefer the temperature to rise like gradually instead of like today it's 10 degrees and then tomorrow it's 25 degrees. It's a little bit frustrating. Anyways, yeah, so trying to stay hydrated. In this video today, I'm going to talk about Blac Volta. Two videos ago, I got the link up there. We were talking about 3 scandals that had happened in the span of like 3 days. And during these videos, I mentioned Blac Volta in relation to South Africa. And I said I was not going to touch it because it was such a sensitive topic. And I had to do a little bit of research before I talked about it. So we're going to talk about it in this video. If you're ready, let's get into it. I'm going to use my computer because I had a lot of notes. I cannot memorize everything, you know. It will take a while for me to do that. So yeah, I'm going to be looking here. You can watch this video like a podcast style. For example, if you are trying to clean your house or if you are doing something and you want to listen to something, because I'm not going to be looking directly into the camera throughout the entire video. Okay. I feel my energy is down because my upstairs neighbors are doing renovation. So throughout the week, I couldn't film any videos. And I had like a couple of videos prepared to film. And today is Sunday. It's almost like 8 o'clock and I want to film a couple of videos. So this is one of them and then another one that is not like super dramatic like this. Anyways, I am just rambling. Let's get into it. So this story is actually quite difficult to ignore because this is about a conversation that we've never had in this country. It's about cancel culture, right? And usually in countries like the US, we watch many celebrities, many influencers, and public figures get cancelled. And what does it mean to be cancelled? Because if you're not really familiar with this internet lingua, this happens when a celebrity or an influencer has their past come back to bite them. Sometimes it can be in real time, but most of the time it's something from the past when the internet finds this information. For example, in interviews, tweets, or former employees come out to talk against them. Then within the span of 48 hours, they lose their endorsements from big brands. They never get jobs again. And actually, while I was searching for how to put across this information about cancel culture, you know the website Imdb. If you want to find any information about American celebrities, I don't know if it's related to other countries also, imdb.com has a list of cancelled celebrities. It shows you that it's a new concept which is making it to the mainstream media. So they have a list. So a bunch of celebrities have been cancelled in the US. O.J. Simpson. If you want to find out more information about him, you can search online. If you want me to do a video about him, I can do that too. Jussie Smollett, it was cancelled. Kevin Spacey was cancelled, and a lot of people were mad about that because they claimed that their favorite show went downhill after he was cancelled, but it was a necessary evil. Anyways, let's move on. Now that I've explained what cancel culture is, so a celebrity does something in the past, in the present, or they have an employee, they treat them bad. This information gets out. Whatever they talked about in the interview gets out. Whatever they tweeted in the past gets out, or Facebook posts. People are outraged. They find it disgusting. They think it's inappropriate. And everybody stops supporting them. They stop following them. Big brands also get pressured to drop them from their list of endorsements, and then they lose their careers. They are never able to work in Hollywood again. So that's cancel culture. But in Ghana, we've never experienced something like this, actually. And if there has been, let me know in the comment section, because I've never heard of any celebrity who has been cancelled in this country. Even when politicians have been caught in scandals, right on film, they can still get political appointments. So when it comes to the new age of internet, there has not really been any celebrity or influencer or a socialite who has been cancelled until Joseph J, who is the founder of Blac Volta. I'm going to use the term cancel very lightly because saying that it's like the most bare minimum that happened because it only happened with Twitter X. This cancellation happened in the second week of May 2026, and I would say that this is Ghana's first real full internet cancellation. Full cancellation is doing a lot of heavy lifting. Twitter account was suspended and the infamous public statement was issued, which is the public apology. So it's just followed this 3-step process. The first one, people finding the tweets. The second one, people removing their spots. And then the third step was the public apology with the press statement. And last step is maybe the fourth step is brand reputation being ruined. Okay, so today we're going to talk about Joseph J, what he's built, what the internet's found, and what this moment means for Ghana's creative industry. How would this affect the future of the internet culture and how we hold people accountable in this new era of the internet? How would this affect how people hold powerful people accountable? So that's what we're going to look at. Let's get into it. To fully understand the story, we first need to understand who Joseph J is, because if you've never heard of him, I haven't. I've seen Blac Volta on the internet. I've seen them on Instagram. Like usually they post pictures about parties, videos, especially the women from the diaspora partying at hard and stuff like that, right? So we're going to try to understand who this person is, who is behind the Blac Volta, who is Joseph J, because he's quite an influential person and he's one of the most visible and celebrated young entrepreneurs. Joseph J, as he said, is a chartered human resource professional by day, and he's the founder of Blac Volta. According to their website, Blac Volta is the engine of Africa's creative renaissance. Blac Volta is a creative startup dedicated to capturing Ghana's nightlife and entertainment through photography, videography, and blogging. Blac Volta, the entertainment sphere, not to be confused with the mining company. I do wonder why this name is quite popular. Blac Volta is spelled without the K. The black is without the K. So according to Joseph J in one of the interviews with Graphic Showbiz in 2022, he said he was motivated by his passion to put Ghana on the map, to put the false impression that we had a boring nice life in Accra. His goal was to bring Accra nightlife to light, no pun intended. He did that by building a media platform to shed light on the night experience in Ghana. So with that, Blac Volta was launched in 2022 and quickly became a cornerstone of Ghana's entertainment industry and known for captivating nightlife media coverage. With this effort, the platform became synonymous with high energy events and exclusive experiences across Africa. And when you see like the videos and pictures from the events that Blac Volta attends, they look so good. The quality of the videos are quite beautiful. It also focuses on creating content that highlights the lifestyles of young African and is committed to uplifting African entertainment landscape through events production, event coverage, talent management, and broadcasting. So it's not just like a blog, it's like a full media ecosystem. So to show you the extent of the influence of this media company, they also covered Afro Nation, which is like a summer festival. They were able to cover this event in both Miami and Portugal. They also covered the Basketball Africa League, Emmy Africa Awards, Afrofuture, and others. So Joseph J was also honored as a media personality of the year, digital and social, at the 940 and the 40 awards held at Labadi Beach Hotel in September 2025. So this guy is quite famous. This information I got from pulse.com. All the information I got from this video, I'm going to list them in my description. So this guy was so influential that on May 10th of this year, 2026, Blac Volta had launched a major new initiative called the 1%. It's a private membership club designed for creatives, founders, and investors. And they also, alongside this initiative, they brought out their branded Blac Volta Visa Lifestyle Card. This card is aimed at supporting Ghana's creative economy. But actually, I also saw that this card had already been launched in some fintech events last year in September. I tried to look a little bit into the card. I don't understand why there has to be always exclusive executives, luxury, targeting like very specific people. And I've already talked about this whole concept of 1% in my previous video, but I don't know, it's just already giving me the ick. This guy has this big company, right? The card, it's such a big partnership with Visa and some other banks, local banks in Ghana. You can see that Blac Volta was at its absolute peak, right? And then the people of Twitter started digging, you know, for good reason. Now, they found old tweets from 2010 to 2012, and this sparked outrage, rightfully so. The content of the tweets were extremely sensitive, involving sexual and predatory behavior. I'll read a few of the tweets. If you want to see all the tweets that were found, you can go to, hey, I like Console. The tweets that this guy wrote between these periods. Go to Instagram. There is a page called Ghana Posts. I'm going to probably put the link in the description. You can go and read all the tweets if you have time. So here are some of the tweets that was found. Aristocrats. So this was tweeted on 20th of January 2011. Aristocrats, thieves, and PDFs. Those are the friends I have. Another one says, I'm from Ghana, where nothing should be kiddie, so I just left yet. And safe and young sex is great sex. He also said, there's the need to revise the law on sexual harassment to favor real niggas. Another tweet said, one of my mates refused to tell anybody his age yet. He regrets not having sweet 16 11 years ago. Shaking my head, Morning Star. He also said, child trafficking on my mind. He posted, Constitution clearly states that if the girl is 17 and the guy is below 5 feet, it's not considered. I'm off the hook. This was in 2010. Anyways, these were the tweets that were found on the Blac Volta Twitter account, formerly known as X. As you can hear, the tweets were pretty disgusting. And when Ghanaians on X, formerly known as Twitter, saw them, the reactions were immediate. It obviously crossed some serious moral and legal lines. And Ghanaians were outraged. And this, I'm talking about Ghanaians on Twitter. So this backlash erupted in connection with Blac Volta's close ties with South African, who is Joshua Kojo Anane Boateng, who had recently been arrested on serious allegations of his own involving dragging women. 2 names, 2 scandals, and they were both connected. So I saw a tweet that so quite a ridiculous tweet. They said, because every time you see the picture of South African, he had the glasses and he had a hat. And most of the time when you see the Joseph guy from Blac Volta, he also had glasses. So there was a tweet that said, they love hiding their eyes with shades so you don't see the evil in there. Look at this, so called him So Diddy. Look at this So Diddy guy. You can tell he isn't right. And also the obvious thing they have in common is what we all heard. Anyways, let's move on. So now let me walk you through how this cancellation happened. And this is exclusively on Twitter, because if you go to the Instagram of Blac Volta, if you go to the YouTube, if you go to their website, everything is still live. So this is something that happened. But I do wonder, the only reason I'm saying that he's cancelled on Twitter is because the Twitter account was suspended, and this happens if people report a lot of tweets from your account. But this didn't happen. Do you think that he will still have the Twitter account will still be live? I do wonder that. Okay. Anyways, moving on, I have to emphasize that the speed at which this happened was astronomical. So let me walk you through the process, right? The 1% initiative was launched May 10, 2026, and during this promotion, there was a picture. I'm going to put the picture posted on their Twitter account. Obviously shows that South African was part of the 1% initiative. The people that they are adding to this initiative with exclusive, I don't know, socialites. And this news coincided perfectly with when South African was arrested. If you've not watched the video, I'll put the link up there. South African was arrested Wednesday, May 12th, and this picture was posted about the initiative May 10th, 2 days apart, right? So once this arrest was made, the Twitter account of Blac Volta posted this news with a broken heart, and people were quite critical about the post because it sounded so tone deaf. And somebody posted that same way. So this is before all the tweets surfaced. A girl posted, she's called Blue Gebaros. She said, same way you posted his nameplate in your exclusive private club that we are not invited to, please post the article and his name too. Thank you. So I think I already said that in the previous video. So this is what she said, and that's it resonated with me because yeah, it makes sense, right? And people were also calling out Black Volta for not condemning the behavior of South African because he didn't say anything. He just said this news with a broken heart, right? The Twitter detectives decided to do their job. I have a suspicion it's the Gen Zers. You guys are not playing around, and I love it for you, okay? So the detectives started working, and on May 14th, the tweets surfaced. People took screenshots, people took screen recordings because these kinds of things. Next thing you know, it has disappeared, right? So within hours, the Twitter team, Ghana Twitter was on fire. I mean, you should have been there. I was there, like I was looking at everything live, but I had so many things that I had to put together for the previous video. I was watching it like I was like, nah, I'm not gonna touch this story, but as time has gone on, I think it's good to shed a light on that. At first it was South African who was trending, right? And then suddenly 2 days later, Black Volta is also trending. Oh my god, people were sharing screenshots here and there, and a lot of people who also supported the brand started to speak out, right? And like there was a lot of backlash, rightfully so. Then the third step was the official statement, which is like the letter or the post about apologies. So he actually posted an apology, which means, oh my god, is this guy accepting what he did? So I'm going to read a statement that he dropped. It was really hard to find the statement because the Twitter account had been suspended. I had to go into different places. Anyways, on May 14th, he put personal statements on past and tweet concerns to our community. I need my glasses. It's too small. So he said, I've seen the old tweets and screenshots from 2010 to 2011 that has resurfaced online. The account involved was originally a personal account, which means it's for Joseph AJ. Before the transition and migration from the Black Volta 1 account to the current Black Volta X account. But I'm not like a brand strategist or what is this job position, but if you are building like Africa's biggest, what was the expression that was used? If you're building the engine of Africa's creative renaissance, why couldn't you create a Twitter account for the company? Why did you have to use your old Twitter account? Not to excuse anybody's behavior, but it's kind of weird. That's not very smart business move, I think. I don't know. It's just common sense, right? Anyways, he said, while some posts have been shared out of context, what do you mean? And some circulating screenshots are not authentic. So which one is authentic and which one is not? I recognize that there were posts connected to the period that were very offensive, insensitive, and wrong. The language and casual jokes, normalizing and trivializing sexual were extremely unacceptable, and I understand the disappointment, hurt, and anger that this has caused, especially to women and survivors. For that, I am truly sorry. Over the years, I've grown personally and professionally. I understand growth does not cancel impact. Accountability means taking responsibility and being intentional, doing better. Moving forward, I will take the initiative to personally engage with organizations in Ghana focused on raising awareness of gender-based violence, women empowerment, and the importance of digital friends. I'm taking the lead to ensure that the right measures are put in place moving forward around consent and create safer spaces alongside my team. So the culture around Black Volta reflects respect, responsibility, and care for people. Doesn't it do that already? Africa's creative renaissance. This has been difficult but important moment of reflection. I'm listening, learning, committed to showing growth through consistent action over time. Thank you to everyone holding me accountable. Okay, anyways, of course nobody believed that. Everybody was like, oh, what are you talking about? And we hadn't said anything. But after this statement was posted, people were not having it. People were pissed. One of the notable voices was the girl's prophet. I'm gonna take a listen. So one of the most notable voices for this conversation was Nana Abamo and one of the most notable voices was Nanaba Anamwa, who is popularly known as Girl's Prophet. Hey girl. She's one of Ghana's most respected media personalities. So when she speaks, people listen. So she publicly rejected Black Volta's apology and went as far as reporting him to the CID. And she tweeted this: "You are taking..." I'm trying to read it to her voice. She says, "You're taking the lead." No, she says, let me be a little bit animated. "You are going to take the lead in ensuring measures are put in place place moving forward around consent. You are taking the lead. So you've not done it already. You want to now do it. To take measures about consent. I mean, with this kind of statement and with this guy getting arrested, that is scary. Anyways, let's continue reading Nanaba's tweet. What the hell does that mean, Blac Volta? And this is what Nanaba said. She couldn't believe it. And most people couldn't. Because what do you mean you're now taking the lead? What have you been doing these past years? Oh my god. As of May 17, 2026, just 3 days after the tweet had resurfaced, his Twitter account, which is formerly known as X, I'm not going to call it X, the OGs of Twitter, we know that it's forever going to be Twitter, okay? Anyways. So just 3 days after the tweet had resurfaced, his Twitter account nowhere to be found. Now, if you go to Twitter and you try to find information about this, you're not going to find anything because his Twitter account is no more. People reported his Twitter and it's gone. But if you go to Instagram, still active. Things are being posted on his YouTube. I mean, the Blac Volta YouTube account. They have a new video from 3 days ago. So the council is doing a lot of heavy lifting, just showing you like things are gradually changing. Take a moment to talk about why this moment is very important beyond just one man and a brand. Ghana has always had a complicated relationship with accountability, and especially when it comes to powerful people, influential people, celebrated people, rich people. And we have this culture of, oh, but look at what he's done for the community, look at what he's built, like he has a lot of money. We weigh people's achievements against their behavior, and sometimes these achievements are really good for us, our system, our economy. But what about the people who are harmed in this kind of situation? What about the people who are harmed by these behaviors? Don't they deserve to be heard? So usually the person with the big name is protected by the public, right? But what happened to Blac Volta is different. And of course, we're going to talk about just in the case of Twitter, but this specific situation is quite different because this is a company that brands itself on like being the digital media, being active in the influencer economy. So having its accounts cancelled is quite significant. And now that this whole digital space is growing and the digital media is growing, it sets like a precedent for what is going to happen in the future. So what happened to Blac Volta? It wasn't like a rumor, someone is talking about it. It's not like someone came on Twitter to accuse him of something he did behind closed doors for him to deny, and or for him for someone else to twist their words or his words. But this was from his own account and his own post, and there was nowhere to hide, right? It was publicly there. I mean, we've had situations where we've seen video evidence and people still got away with it. I don't know. This is still new, so we don't know how this will change in the future related to Blac Volta, what happens to the brand in the future. But I found it quite interesting. What makes it worse is just the uncanny coincidence between a guy who has just been arrested for dragging women and sexually assaulting them, posting their videos on the internet, and then a guy who runs a really big digital media company, organizing events, inviting people, traveling the world, having parties, with this guy also attending these events. It's a little bit creepy. So, and he having all these kinds of tweets, it's scary. It is scary. So yeah, but I do wonder, like, and people also wonder, what if the tweets were never found? Would there be any kind of growth that would happen? Would there be any change that has to be acknowledged? Would there be any kind of accountability if this hadn't happened? If there has been some alleged victims, what has been the system in place to support these victims? Allegedly, I don't know if there are any victims, but if there are, what has been done to support these victims? Because those tweets were really serious. And the thing also is, like, if there has to be change, should that be announced in a press release after you're caught, or should it be quiet or consistent? I don't know. This is quite a dilemma. So tell me in the comments what you think. And because Ghana's creative industry is growing, we have a very high number of young people compared to older people in the population. It shows that in the future, these things probably are going to become very common. And I'm here to talk about it, okay? But what I have to say also is that the fact that Nanaba stood up and talked about this, I like the fact that she's advocating for the women and she's doing a lot of things for also the young influencers. And I think it's really good. She also escalated the case to the CID. They really need to go and look at the guy's basement, allegedly. Because this was like, what, a few years ago. So for now, the Twitter account of Blac Volta is suspended. The reputation has been damaged. at least according to that side of the internet. And we are now waiting to see what next. And moving forward, if this cancel culture is going to be more common, and what impact does it have on the broader public. Although this cancellation has only happened on Twitter, I do wonder moving forward if it would increase in its impact in the larger context, in terms of like people who in public office and holding them accountable and trying to stick to these principles of cancel culture so that they don't find themselves back in political positions where they will be sabotaging the country. But with all that being said, one politician said Ghana has a very short-term memory, so we'll see how the story develops. This is a lesson to tell you that the internet remembers, and this is also a lesson I'm taking for myself, right? Your brand, your image, your words, and all of these things stays on the internet forever. So drop in the comments, what do you think about this story? Do you think that this was a real cancellation? What do you think is going to happen in the future when it comes to like creatives, influencers, and the cancel culture in Ghana? I want to hear from you in the comment section. Like, share this video, subscribe. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers. There is not too much to ask, and I'll see you in the next one. Do